Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Marvel Monday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Marvel Legends series X-Men 97 Goblin Queen. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging, and here we have on the top Marvel Studios X-Men 97, and then there's a nice group shot of the X-Men in question, although it does seem some are missing. Nice artwork of the Goblin Queen. Goblin Queen 4-up. Warning, don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. Nice big blister showcasing the two figures and accessories. Then on the backside, we have Marvel Legends Series and X, the cross sale of Magneto, Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Jean Grey, the X-cutioner, and this figure, the Goblin Queen, and then a nice digital render of Madeline and Goblin Queen. At least I'm assuming this version of Goblin Queen is still Madeline Pryor. And then also available, which is the cross sale we just went over, each sold separately, subject to availability. Recycled print. Attention! Especially don't stick stuff in your French pie hole that don't belong there. Warning, attention, Octung, don't stick things in any language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to babies. Small print, fine print, legalese print, made in China print, symbols I'm not going to learn, a barcode, Hasbro print, Marvel print, other small print, and that thing. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and her accessories. And here we have some handy dandy tweezers to help take a look at these small accessories. And first of all, we have these little, I want to call them magic effects, but I know they're not. I guess they're psychic effects. And not anything new. We've seen this several times in the Marvel Legends line before. Nice translucent plastic. I don't think we've seen this color before, but there's two of those, and both of them are the same. So we've seen them as magic effects, fire effects, other things. Her other accessories are, she comes with a set of fists, and I forgot to set an accessory out here. But I don't believe this is anything new. I'm not sure which one is the paint app. The black looks kind of glossy, so perhaps the black is a paint app. That would actually make more sense, but that doesn't always mean anything. And there she goes falling down because she does not like to stand up. And both are on in and out hinges. Both have nice molded details. And again, I don't think this is anything new. I think we've seen these fists for years. Her last accessory, which I forgot to set out and almost forgot about, is here we have Baby Nathan. And you can see on the back side, there's really not much going on here. Like, the hair is colored, but I think it's a separate piece glued on. The head is a piece glued into the blanket, I think. I think this is the same blanket they used for the VHS Mystique's Nightcrawler. It's just got a different head on it. And of course it's got these X tampos. At least I'm assuming they're tampos. But it does have some nice texture to it. The blanket does. And then just a very nice looking piece. Now let's get back to Madeline. And while this isn't my iconic version of the Goblin Queen, it is our first version of the Goblin Queen in the Marvel Legends line. And I do have to say, for the most part, it's a very nice looking figure. It does kind of evoke that Goblin Queen feel to it, just not quite as 80s, I guess, with the ripped clothes and stuff. But I really would like them to eventually do that iconic version. And by iconic, I don't mean the one that they were teasing with that Ghost Rider HasLab crap. I mean an actual one based off of her appearance in Inferno. But it does have some nice molded details in here. Nice little paint app here. The face looks great. Awesome. I love the red plastic that they used for the hair. I think it's the same as Jean's. Let's see. Yes. Which makes sense, seeing as how she's a clone. And then, you know, got the pale flesh showing up here. Now, I would have liked this to match the animation where this was bare skin rather than body stock and hose, whatever. I don't know. But I just know this color should be right here. That's what I know. So that would have been nice. And then here are the hands. You can see she's even got some finger polish on there. So that's really nice. A lot of this is molded in color. This is a little bit loose. And then here are those feet. I don't know why they keep using. I do know why they keep. They look nice, but they don't function worth a crap. And I think the first time we saw this maybe was on the Enchantress from many years ago. I could be mistaken. It could have been used for that. That's the oldest one I can think of that I think has these feet. If not, it's Emma Frost. So the cape, it does have a peg. So it's supposed to peg in there. I don't know if I got it in there or not. Probably not. I didn't. There it goes. But it's also glued up here. So that does keep it from flopping around up here, and it also keeps it from like rising up when you peg it in, like so many of those that peg in capes do that. So, but anyway, I mean, overall, I do think this is a nice design, especially considering it's for animation, even though I won't say that X-Men 97 is very kid-friendly animation. It's not made for kids, I don't think. Let's take a look at her articulation real quick. She doesn't really look up because of the hair. She can look down that far. She does have some chicken neck. She's got a little bit of waggle. She can do the full Exorcist, so that's good. At the shoulder, 360 degrees of rotation. There's a cut here at the upper bicep for another 360 degrees of rotation, and she can raise her arm up. We'll call that 90 degrees. Double hinged pinless elbow, and it gives you that much bend. 360 degrees of rotation at the wrist on an in and out hinge, and in and out hinge on the other side as well. It's a cut here where the chest and the abdomen meet. It's on a ball joint. It gives her all kinds of hula. She can lean left and right. She can lean back that far, and she can crunch forward barely, and it also gives her a 360 degree rotation there as well. At the hips, she can give you that much of the splits. She can kick forward, not quite 90 degrees, and back, we're going to call that none. Cut here at the, we'll say the lower thigh, and it gives you a 360 degree rotation there. Double hinged pinless knee, and it gives you that much bend. And then at the ankle, tilts down that far, tilts up that far. So the range on that is good. And then it does have forward facing pin for rocker. And of course, I untab the cape. Still didn't get it in there. Maybe that got it. So there we have it, my friends. a look at the figure, who's not going to stand up, I know it. And her accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Marvel Legends series, X-Men 97 Goblin Queen, with the Marvel Legends series, X-Men 97 Jean Grey, the Marvel Legends series, Love Triangle 3-pack Jean Grey, and the Marvel Legends series, retro-carded Dark Phoenix. For our final set of comparisons, here we have the Marvel Legends series, X-Men 97 Goblin Queen, with our final Marvel Legends series comparison, making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. From G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison, from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For our final thoughts on the Marvel Legends series, X-Men 97 Goblin Queen, I have to say, this is not, when I think of Madeline Pryor's The Goblin Queen, this is not what pops into my head. Inferno is one of my favorite X-Books crossovers. And, you know, this is not that version of the Goblin Queen. And that's okay. This is a completely different version of the Goblin Queen. This is Goblin Queen for the animated universe. And seeing as how it's animation, I can understand how it's not as sexy, I guess, as what you might find in the comics. And that's not to say this is not a good looking figure, because this figure looks great. I like this figure. The look on her face, just the way the cape drapes, even though it is a plastic cape. And I do think, you know, they made some, I guess it's a minor error on the coloring, but it could have been, you know, this is the way it looked from the original, how they were going to animate the figure, and then they changed up some of the coloring. And basically, I'm talking about the upper thighs around the boots there in the animation. They were her flesh tone rather than stockings or body tights or whatever it happens to be now. Now, the biggest drawback to this figure is her feet. Now, I understand why they put the heels on her, because that's the way she appears in the animation, and they already had it in their parts library. But they've got to figure out something else with these feet, because they don't stand up worth the crap. This figure is way too back heavy with the cape for those feet. So I really would have liked, not flat feet, but something maybe that would work a little better. I don't quite know what that is, whether it's slightly larger pegs for the heels, you know, make them a little wider, bigger around. I don't know. I'm not a toy engineer. I'm just a toy reviewer and barely great at that. But you know, that's just my thoughts on that. If you have a stand, then it's not a big problem, especially if you want to use something like what I've got, but with the bigger base so she can fly or be floating, or, you know, whatever the case may be. And the stand that I've got on her, it does push the cape out a little bit, and I like the way that looks, though. It looks like the cape is kind of flowing behind her a little bit. and I like that. But I don't know where you can find this one. If you're still looking, I waited almost too long. I actually ran across this in a Walmart and picked it up. Her Nightcrawler. And I picked her up because I wanted a Goblin Queen. I don't have a Goblin Queen. They haven't. This is the first Goblin Queen that they've made for the Marvel Legends series. So I wanted a representation of Goblin Queen. And the Kurt, I picked him up. I was planning to just swap the heads on the Wendigo Build-A-Figure one, but I don't know. I may keep it like it is now because I kind of want a shelf or an area of a shelf that's X-Men 97 now. But that all just depends on whether I can find all the rest of the figures or not. But this is a good figure. Like I said, the feet are the only real drawback. And, well, of course, the plastic cape. Nobody likes plastic capes. But, you know, there's some things you can do to make it better, I guess. Like what I've got here where it's flared out a little bit. I think that looks much better than it just sitting flat on her back. But the sculpt is good on this one. Everything, the paint, all of it is good on this one, except for like the feet. I don't like these feet, and I know why they use them, and it's fine. But just be prepared that the figure does not want to stand up. And that's not the case with every single figure that has these feet. Just any of them that have a cape or are a little back heavy. So there is that. The only other minus to this figure is that, you know, the above the boots, the thigh parts aren't colored to flesh color like it was in the animation. But for those of you that paint, that's not a big deal. For those of me that don't paint, you know what? To me, it's not that big a deal either. But, you know, if you're still looking for this one, I hope you can find it. I don't know anywhere that has it for retail right now. So, there is that. But good luck, happy hunting. Well, that does it for the review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I am now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.